Want some candy?
I have come here to chew bubblegum and kick ass. And I'm all out of bubblegum.
Well, hello, Mr. Fancy Pants.
I hear you looking for candy, man, bitch.
Give me some sugar, baby. Like scary movies.
Want some candy?
What's up, candy killers? This is Screamin' E from the world's second greatest rock and roll band, the Memphis Murder Men. I'm here with Shotzi Blackheart.
Hi.
World's greatest wrestler. And here also with me is Dominic Davey from Tsunami Bomb.
Hello.
So get ready, you cocksuckers, to get to this episode of Monster Candy Podcast.
I like that we both waved and no one can see us waving.
I actually like that whenever E introduces us, no matter how intense it is, he actually gives us context. Like when it's us, we're just like, this is Shotzi Blackheart, this is Screamin' E, this is John McGavie.
Yeah, he does give us proper
you make it clear.
proper introductions.
Because people need to know who we are.
I hope you talk like that the entire episode.
I'll get this shit started right now.
Oh my god,
I
we
hope
have
he
our
talks like
very
that on a romantic date. That's awesome. Well done.
Yeah, say something romantic in that voice.
The face he's making right now.
I'd eat your poop.
That's so romantic. I love it.
Sure.
It's romantic to me.
Let's go, guys.
All right. Welcome back, everybody.
Oh, there it is.
Awesome to be back. I don't know. It feels like a long time since we've done one.
Yeah,
So,
right?
it's been a bit. I don't know.
Feels like almost 2 weeks, guys.
Well, 2 weeks since they've heard us, but yeah, it feels like long. It feels a little longer.
Like I said, feels like 2 weeks, guys.
So today, this episode, we're doing what? What are we doing?
Halloween. but they know that because it's in the title.
It's in the description. And not just any Halloween, John Carpenter's 1978 Halloween.
Yeah, that one, because you know why? Because Rob Zombie sucks.
What? Come on. I actually like his stuff, but I don't agree with what he did. But I don't mind his movie.
Alright.
And his is the highest grossing Halloween of all time, Rob Zombie's.
And we'll talk about that, but first, we've got...
Don't leave me! No, just kidding.
Horror news!
Yeah, I like how you just led me. Yeah, sure, okay, whatever. We'll talk about that. That's very good. You're on politics with that one. Alright, horror news. Okay, well, what do we got? Who's up first?
I don't know, wait.
I ain't got shit, because I don't give a fuck.
Do yours.
I have a few.
Okay, let me hear them.
Well, first
I'm gonna save
off,
mine for the next episode.
I'm certain. What? Alright, I'm really excited about this one. Clive Barker is developing a series based on his movie Nightbreed for the Sci-Fi Channel with Jigsaw writer Josh Stolberg. My typical messing up somebody's name. Apparently it's going to focus a lot on the interaction between monsters and humans representing the modern race relations. So that's what's going to happen.
Oh, I don't like that it's getting political.
I don't know if it's getting political, but that's a lot. There's a lot there.
It's getting
People
political.
mind that a lot.
I hate that. Why everything has to be all
Because it'll make money.
Why can't everything just be fun and we don't have to think about that don't put that shit in my movie.
Because everyone needs to be woke, bro.
Okay.
I have not that reaction to that. I think there's a lot to mind there. I just wouldn't want it to go the direction where it gets too blatantly, it's too on the nose. Like, one of the reasons I had a problem with Bright is it was just a little too obvious who the orcs are supposed to be. It's a little too obvious. Like, in that movie, I think they needed to do a little better job in how elegant they tried to describe
that shit was just that shit was just Alien Nation.
I know what you mean. Like Star versus the Forces of Evil, which is a cartoon on Disney XD, and it's my favorite fucking cartoon. But they do a lot of that where like there's monsters and there's humans, which are humans, and the monsters are looked down upon, and like they're in poverty and blah 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 blah. But none of them are any like race. They don't represent any race of us. Like they're just they're strictly monsters.
Well, yeah, and I think that there's a lot of great stories that you could tell representing like race tension and race relations. It's just sometimes people are a little too heavy-handed with that, whereas you can convey a lot of deep meaning in a story if you do so elegantly. But I imagine that that's one of the things that they're trying to do to make things relevant. The only thing that gave me pause about that part of it was that I recall in the movie the monsters were hunted, so they went underground and they literally lived in a city meridian underneath a cemetery, and they were kind of hidden from most people's view. And it's kind of like when you died or you had a close encounter with death, you were seriously injured or some sort of traumatic event would fire off the change in you, and you'd recognize you were a monster. Maybe I'm getting this wrong, but that's what I recall. It's been a minute since
It's been a long time since I've watched that.
We're gonna have to rewatch this movie and do. We should do an episode.
Yeah,
on
maybe
this
do an
movie.
episode. What do you guys think?
Yeah, I think they would. I think they would like that.
What do you guys think? Nobody cares what you guys think.
But I think that so it would be weird to me if they tried to do the movie where they're interacting on society level. I kind of like the concept of the monsters being hidden, only certain humans knowing they exist, and it being kind of a hidden thing under most people's noses.
Yeah.
I like that.
See, it's
kind
not
of
that
horror story.
I mind it so much. It's more so the fact that every fucking movie is tackling that right now. The Purge, Black Panther, like blah blah blah. It's like every movie is doing it. It's just like there's so many.
Right.
Because it's not like we don't see enough of that shit on fucking online or on the news or in real life.
Yeah.
We need to have it in music and movies and everything else.
I think there is a certain amount of fatigue that happens when you take a message and you beat people over the head with it, but I think there's also a lot of people that are trying to speak their story, but I also think there's a certain amount of piggybacking that is going on, because it's like it's one thing when I know of a writer and director who, you know, has come up from Oakland and it has a certain amount of his own experiences that he's sharing, and then he gets an opportunity like Black Panther to kind of tell sort of a larger tale.
Right.
And I thought the Black Panther did a really great job of, like, not only were they this nation of technology and they were the
Wakanda forever.
Wakanda forever. But it just reminded me of the Sentinel Life sketch when it was like, no, you can't do that. But
it's about the only thing I know of Black Panther.
But Black Panther did a good job of showing their struggle of like, do we help everyone else or do we keep a secret or what are we doing here, you know? So I don't know. I mean, I think there's then there is necessarily with Clive Barker putting that in and what viewpoint he's going to be able to present.
Well, see, that's what I'm saying. Like, it's one thing if you grew up that way and you're like, oh, I want to use, you know, this platform to like, you know, make, you know, put my message out there. But now I just feel like Hollywood's just jumping on the bandwagon.
Oh, for sure. I mean, there's
just
that.
half-assedly using everything that's going on as a way to get ratings.
Yeah, and cash in.
It's always that way for me. I think every 1 out of every 100,000 whatever, you might be like, oh, that's legit, and everyone else is like, sweet, let's make some money off of this.
Yeah, it just seems phony.
I can't say that it does. I mean, I think there's definitely seems to be a way to get people's attention into this particular series. For me, Nightbreed doesn't need it. The amount of monsters, the fact that no two monsters are alike, that they're kind of like a mutant humans.
Right.
You know, there's a lot to be told there.
X-Men 90s
it's
cartoon
kind of
did
X-Men kind of
they did. It was like a complete
kind of
episode
even more
like
inhuman.
that.
What is it? What's the other one?
I hated that fucking cartoon.
Which one?
That 90s version.
You didn't like
X-Men.
90s X-Men? I feel like everybody likes the 90s X-Men. I didn't
Dude.
really like it that much either. But I was reading Chris Claremont's comics at that point, which were his X-Men comics were crazy good, and so yeah, I wasn't really paying attention to the cartoon. But I just know a lot of people that do like it. I'm excited to see the Nightbreed series. I hope they treat that if they're going to tackle race relations, I hope they bring something new to the table. I hope they expose us to something a little more interesting than we've seen, and handle it elegantly and not just try and use it as an excuse that's a little... Like I said, when I watched Bright, it felt like it was a wedged in, kind of too obvious, too on the nose, and it kind of didn't feel like it was... I liked Bright, but it didn't really pull it off. Whereas there's but a movie like Get Out, I thought was great at doing that and making it a horror movie or kind of a comedy with a horror interaction, and it was able to do so, I think, a little more elegantly and creatively. But we'll see. But I understand what you guys are saying, feeling a little beat to death by it, and that it's definitely a cash in now.
Yeah.
But then again, if it gets Nightbreed made, it's kind of neat.
I suppose.
I am kind of disappointed it's on the Sci-Fi Channel.
It's on Sci-Fi?
Yeah.
Ooh.
Which, I mean,
Sci-Fi.
I love Battlestar Galactica that they ran, but Sci-Fi's done a lot more misses than it's done hits for
definitely.
me.
Now, if there's a Sharknado involved in it, I'll be like, yeah. If not,
I don't know.
like,
Maybe they're cleaning up and getting hot because their new Leprechaun. Is it a sci-fi movie, or is it going to be a series?
I think it was a sci-fi movie.
Okay. Well, regardless, they got, a pretty solid director, right? It was the guy from The Void, I think. Yeah. And that movie was really cool. So I'm excited for that.
Yeah.
So maybe, I don't know, maybe they're
I still want to do a proper episode on The Void, even though you guys kept falling asleep during that.
Yeah.
I've shown it to 3 other people, so I've watched it 3 times since.
Have you now?
Yeah.
You now watched it?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Really? Do you like it? You've shown it to people, so obviously you like it, right? You like
yeah.
it?
Yeah, I love it.
Yeah.
Oh, well, I wouldn't say I love it, but... I mean, I've given my thoughts on it. It has really awesome practical effects that I really dug, and I'm really, hopeful for this director doing Leprechaun. If he's gonna bring those practical effects into that movie, then I'm game on.
Yeah. Yeah. Stephen Kostansky, who directed The Void, and it's written by Suzanne Kelly, who's a writer on Ash vs. the Evil Dead. So.
With it.
Actually, Leprechaun Returns finds the Leprechaun revived in the modern day when a group of sorority girls unwittingly awaken him while tearing down a cabin to build a new sorority house.
Oh my god.
Yes.
Totally.
Wow. Yeah. So, I hope it goes well. But Nightbreed is not the only TV series in development.
Oh my god.
For horror. Child's Play, the series, is being developed by the guy who created it and controls it. And not much is known on this. I don't know where it's coming back to, but Brad Dourif is going to return.
I just hope they use puppets and bullshit.
Puppets and bullshit?
I just hope they don't CGI Chucky.
I don't think they would. That would be really expensive, I think, for a TV series.
You think?
CGI him? I think it would be cheaper to make,
just make the puppet and then use it throughout the series.
Or have interact and stuff like that.
Yeah, that would.
And maybe CGI a couple extra things to kind of give it some more smooth. I like when CGI is an enhancer.
Yeah, like in Shape of Water.
Yeah.
They use the CGI in his eyes, but
exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. I think that series will be interesting. I'm interested in seeing where it is, because Nightbreed being on Sci-Fi Channel tells me it's either going to be amazing or it's going to be terrible.
Yeah.
But if it was on Netflix or Amazon, I'd feel more like, okay, awesome, this is going to be incredible. But then again,
Netflix needs to pick up more horror, because I love what Netflix.
Do you feel like it's been a little light on horror lately? Does anybody else feel like that? I feel like they haven't been picking up a lot of horror.
You have been?
I haven't. I don't feel like a lot of horror's been popping into the thing. I feel like maybe some other people have been competitive.
It's been pretty
maybe
bare.
Because of Shudder.
I'm thinking of getting rid of my Netflix. Actually, Netflix.
Really?
Unless you pick up on the horror.
No kidding.
Yeah. Shudder's been awesome lately, though.
Do you think that's what's going on? Is Shudder's kind of beating them to the punch?
I hope maybe. Shudder's cheaper, so yeah, keep going, Shudder.
I haven't picked that up. Maybe I should.
I've when I first got it, I don't know, maybe like 6 months ago, I wasn't super into it. I was like, man, there's not a lot of stuff on here, but they've been picking up a lot of shit, and a lot of stuff are coming in.
Right.
So I'm like, oh shit, cool. All right, I've not seen this movie and I've been wanting to. Great, you have it. Awesome.
Well, maybe that's what needs to happen, because I don't know. I mean, you guys, everyone listening, you tell us if you think we're out of line, but I feel like Netflix has been traditionally really great with horror.
Sure.
But lately it seems really thin, and a lot of the stuff they're adding
They've gotten rid of a lot of stuff.
Yeah. It doesn't feel like they're placing as much.
Yeah. There was a couple times where I was like, oh, I'm going to go watch this movie because I know it's on Netflix, and then they got rid of it. I'm just like, what?
No.
Stop it.
Why are you doing this?
Get with it.
Oh my god. Why?
We're just gonna keep on talking like this for like another 10 minutes, guys.
But so anyway, there's some 2 pieces of horror news. I can
well, anything on Child's Play? Like anything?
There isn't much. I mean, Brad Dourif is going to be in it. They're really excited to do it.
Okay.
I don't really know if it's going to be called Child's Play or Chucky. I think they should probably stick with Child's Play. I like that name.
Yeah, it's cool.
But yeah, so that's what I got. Anybody else got anything else, or
I ain't got shit.
You got shit?
No.
No.
Nah.
All right. Well,
except the gurgle turds.
Okay.
Lies.
You did that with your mouth.
Yeah, that wasn't real.
I sharted.
Don't lie to our audience.
Such a liar.
Just like Angelina from Jersey Shore. If you didn't see that episode where she shit herself, it's pretty funny.
That's something I never thought would happen. That there would be a reference to Jersey Shore.
Are you kidding? I've watched every season.
Wait, hold on. Wait, what happened on Jersey Shore?
Angelina came back.
She shot herself?
Because DJ Pauly D.
Spoiler alert.
Played a prank.
This was a couple of years ago, I would imagine.
No, this is recently.
It's still on? That show's still on?
They're doing like a Jersey Shore family reunion.
Oh, and she like recently shit herself.
Yeah, because Pauly D brought her in as a prank on the house. But like everyone was like cool and made up or whatever, but everyone got wasted and she sharded, shit herself in the van coming back. So it was pretty good. It's a pretty good episode.
Wow.
Huh.
Well, I guess
I might go back and watch that episode.
Should.
Just because it has sharding in it.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh. I am
speechless, apparently.
Yeah, I have nothing to say.
Anyway, that's everything in horror news.
I think we ended on a particularly horrifying topic.
No.
All right, so today we're talking about Halloween, 1978.
Halloween.
Now this one is. This one's tough. This is tough to talk about because most horror fans know everything about this movie.
Yeah.
In one
is
of the
this considered the first slasher?
Yeah.
The half-slinging slasher.
Oh, is it though?
Is it?
I will definitely say it set the tone for a lot of movies to come after, and
which was first, Halloween or Friday the 13th?
Oh, Halloween. Friday the 13th is a knockoff of.
Yeah.
Halloween.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
We should probably cut that out.
What? Oh my god. Whatever. I'm. Whatever. It's fine. Just leave it. It's fine.
You know what?
What? It came out like what? Like a year after? What is this? 78, and then
2 years.
2 years?
Yeah.
1 year. Because Friday the 13th was 79, right? Mm-hmm. This is 78.
Yeah.
Okay. See, I know something.
1980. Friday the 13th was 1980. So
okay. Whatever. Yeah. I was close.
But they were obviously making it in 79. They were making it a year later. I mean, this was obviously like this did launch the popularity of this kind of horror movie. I mean, people were copying it like crazy. But I would say I saw it referenced on the DVD extras. Who somebody referenced it as the Gone with the Wind of horror movies, and I would actually say it is. Like, this is a really important. Oh, it was a humongous movie that impacted a lot of things. It's outside of horror. You might not have seen it. It's a classic.
Yeah.
We'll watch it.
Pretty sure you probably know if you were in theater.
What?
So
It was Gone with the Wind. It's told from
Is
a
it
woman's
good?
perspective. Yeah. It's really
Should I
good.
watch it?
Yeah, it's a classic movie.
Yeah.
It's like black and
That's
white
what that
shit.
line, like, frankly,
Like-
my dear, I don't give a damn. You know, it's like
I've
that
never heard
line.
that line before.
You've never heard that line before? I mean, this is a seminal book.
I mean,
It
I say
became
I don't
a
give a
huge
damn
movie.
often, but
I feel
it's
like if you
true.
had theater class,
You say that.
they probably touched.
guys, I'm fucking with you. I lived in Hollywood. That fucking poster was everywhere. It was probably like in my dorm room.
I can't tell if we're being incepted, like if you're faking now or faking before.
Well, she's telling the truth about living in Hollywood and everything. So
I don't know if I believe that. Maybe she.
But
lived-
I haven't.
I
by
can
living in
confirm.
Hollywood, she might have just like hung out there for.
No. She went to school there. I can confirm that for sure. So she was not lying. She's just being an asshole. Fucking jag-off.
It must
is
be
what she's
so
being.
cool to have a show with Shotzi Blackheart. It must be awesome. I was like, well, she just kind of fucks with you, but she buys you. But she'll buy you a burger, so it's all good. It kind of balances out.
Yeah.
Thanks,
So
thanks,
I'm
for,
assuming
thanks for
you
the
saw
cheeseburger.
it.
Thanks for the Five
Did
Guys.
you see it beyond the?
Five Guys is delicious.
Did you see it
Five
beyond?
Guys. It's
You're
the
not
best-
sponsored by
best
Five
burgers
Guys.
ever.
Five Guys is the best though. Like totally beats In-N-Out, beats Whataburger, beats
In and out my butthole.
Wendy's, beats whatever fucking
Yeah.
burger. IHOb.
Yep.
I don't know
Fuck
about-
IHOb.
I don't know about IHOB. I don't even know what to think about that. I'm still processing that. But have you seen it, or have you seen the poster?
No, I haven't seen it. They're like I've seen scenes in like film study classes. But no, I haven't seen it.
I wonder how many people in the audience haven't seen that movie. Okay, it's not a horror movie, but it is a very, very legendary classic movie and a great book.
I will check it out.
No, you won't.
Okay, I probably won't because I ain't got time for that shit. I have horror movies to watch and wrestling to watch. That fills up all of my time.
I understand.
Yeah. I don't
Okay.
have time for Sorry, Gone with the Wind. Maybe one day when I'm an old lady.
You will look back
And I'll be like, frankly,
movies.
I don't give a damn. I will watch you, Gone with the Wind.
Frankly, my dear. All right.
Okay, whatever. Obviously, I haven't seen it.
But the point is, we're talking about Halloween.
Okay,
and
yes.
the problem with talking about this movie is that a lot of people know everything about it, but it's fantastic. It's a fantastic movie.
Totes. Like, we shouldn't even give ratings on it at the end because that'd be silly.
Yeah. You know, one of the things that I've found interesting, like I said earlier, I do enjoy, probably of Rob Zombie's movies, I really do like his Halloween, even though I do take issue with his choice of how to handle the shape, making it a hulking monster, embracing the fact of the relations going on, but I did enjoy his movie.
Yeah. See, like,
I
agree with that because, like, I love the idea of pure evil. Not that I don't want to know everything about Michael Myers, but the thought of someone just being evil for no reason is super scary.
I agreed with John Carpenter that was a
yeah,
scary
like
thought, that
like
there's no connection.
Yeah. Like, he didn't have a fucked up childhood. Like, his mom wasn't fucking
That makes it way
dope and-
scarier.
yeah, it makes it way scarier that just some kid who's lived in this perfect little family in this perfect little town just happens to be fucking satanic as fuck.
It's evil.
Evil.
John Carpenter has that famous story that he had interned when the whole concept for him when it was given when Erwin Yablans I don't know how to say his last name gave him the idea of like the babysitter murders, so he pitched him that and had decided that no other film had been called Halloween.
Yeah.
And that was the idea. When John Carpenter got inspired and then wrote the movie and directed it, he was pulling from when he was interning in a mental hospital and there was a child there that terrified him because he said he looked at this child's eyes and there was just nothing there. There was no warmth. There was no comprehension, kindness, or soul. it was like looking right through into the depths of somebody, and there was just nothing looking back at you. And he found that concept terrifying, and that was the inspiration for The Shape.
Yes.
And for Michael Myers, like all the way along. So that's even why I think it starts with him as a child, and we see how troubled as a child he is.
Because kids suck.
Yeah. They're evil. They're very evil. There.
But I think that
all of them.
I think that is terrifying, and I think a lot of people have just misunderstood that concept, and I understand why John Carpenter would be frustrated, actually, a little bit, because it's like, again and again, you wonder why people just don't get it. And then now we have this group coming by, this brand new one coming out.
Yes.
And
they're sticking with that theme.
Yeah,
of pure evil.
And he said he's like, they get it. And I know Rob Zombie was all butthurt that John Carpenter was like, okay, great. And
May probably shouldn't have fucked with his vision so much.
Seriously, man.
Well, I think there's some horror fans that probably embrace all the Halloween movies.
I know plenty of people that
stupid
suck. I mean. They don't.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Everyone, she was so serious when she said that. I mean, there was no joking. There was no. Wait. I know so many people who so suck. Like she was.
No, but I wasn't. Focused. You didn't let me finish my sentence. That suck Rob Zombie's dick.
Oh, okay. Well, there's that.
And think that the Halloween remake is.
Well, they think anything he does is awesome. Like, oh my god, 31 was so cool.
We talked about that, yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like,
I just
get off them nuts.
Well, I mean, I like Rob Zombie. I just don't.
Dude, I like Rob Zombie too.
I just don't like everything. Cool. He is fucking cool. He sent my boss a box set. Did I tell you guys this?
No.
My boss is about to get involved with some stuff at my work and like maybe do a movie with like a protege of Rob Zombie's or something, and Rob Zombie and his manager sent him the box set of all of Rob Zombie's albums, and it's like 11 albums. And it's totally, you guys would love it, and all this artwork and this huge design Rob Zombie box, so it's all just like crazy fonts and like it looks beautiful.
Oh, I'm sure it is.
Crazy psychedelic.
He fucking goes for it.
Yeah, no, he went for it. And I mean, it's got a live. He did a live version of Astro Creep with his new band. I was just like, way to try and rewrite history there, buddy. You just don't want to give royalties to anybody in the old days, do you? You just want to take that all over. But I inside it was a little robot flash drive. It looked like, it was a little horror robot. It actually looked like one from one of those old movies. I'm trying to remember what it was called. But it was a flash drive with all of the digital versions of the albums, and I was like, thank you, I'm taking that. So I've been listening to Rob Zombie's discography, but it's made me want to go buy the box set for White Zombie, which is a little bit more obtainable, because the White Zombie box set is $100 and the Rob Zombie box set is like $450.
I'd rather the White Zombie one.
That's
though.
Crazy.
It's kind of not surprising that Rob Zombie one would be more, but yeah. Anyway, I digress. But it's a pretty cool box set, and he's got a really cool aesthetic. But
totally,
I just think that people don't. I don't know. I just think a lot of people really misunderstood this movie and what makes it scary.
Yeah.
Well, the less is more is the essential point of this whole fucking thing.
Yeah, totally.
Do you think that people need to make connections? Like, we have this desire of making these connections, so there's a reason and an explanation?
No.
Why do you say it? Because I feel like people are always trying to explain something. It's like, why did they kill that person? Why did they do stuff?
Right. And they're like, there has to be a reason that because Michael Myers is insane.
Because they can't accept shit is just cool.
No, I mean,
that's fucking awesome.
Cool. I mean, like, I meant even
just
in
any
life.
situation.
Like, even like they try and look for an explanation of why the.
Well, because they can't accept the way they can't accept shit is the way shit is.
Yeah.
It's like, it is what it is, man. Like, there doesn't,
I mean, yeah, sometimes there isn't a deeper.
There's usually always something, a reason for something, but, I mean, that doesn't necessarily mean it's gonna make you understand anything any better. You'd be like, oh, yeah, well.
I always just thought that I do find it terrifying that I could be walking down the street and somebody could just turn and look at me and try and kill me just for no other reason.
Just for no reason, they're just like,
just because
they're
it happens all the
fucking time. That was the whole point. Like the whole point of this movie and it's so weird. It became such a debatable sticking point. Is like he goes after Laurie because he sees her drop those keys off. Mm-hmm. That's it. That's the only reason.
Yeah.
But then later they needed a bigger reason. They needed some other. And I thought that even the way the movie ends, it would allowed for a ton of movies being made off a guy that just kills whoever he sees and whoever he wants, and that's crazy.
Yeah, I'm not very deep. I live on the surface, kinda. So maybe that's why I'm super into just the thought of it. Just
that's the scariest.
That's what it is.
It's the scariest
but it
thing.
is also just a
No
lot
rhyme or
scarier
reason
that
to
way.
why someone's killing shit is pretty fucking gnarly.
I didn't know. I found out today when we were talking about this. I mean, I know a lot of people know all this stuff, but I didn't realize Nick Castle, who plays Michael Myers in The Shape for most of the movie, is the guy who directed a movie I really love, The Last Starfighter. I can believe that. I was shocked.
Which is a super fucking sweet movie.
Is
It's
it?
an 80s movie, yeah.
Do I need to watch this?
Yes.
I love the
Yeah,
80s.
Yes.
Totally watch it. It's
So
totally
good.
a
I
great
saw it in the
80s.
movie theaters.
Did you? Me too.
Yeah.
I did too.
It was
Oh
so
my
fucking
god, you
good.
guys are so...
Old. Yes.
Yeah.
Old.
Fucking old.
Like, I didn't want to say it, but then it already, like, started coming
You kind
out.
of already
Sorry.
came out. Yeah, I kind of
I think it was like a double feature, maybe.
Really?
Yeah.
I just saw it, and it was everything I hoped it was. Like one of the first big sci-fi, that along with
Sci-fi?
Tron, that was the first big, like, sci-fi with, like, major computer effects.
Okay.
Tron and that movie. Because, like, all the space battles, all the spaceships were completely, like, computer generated. It was way ahead of its time.
Yeah.
I mean, it looks rough in the space versions because it's 80s sci-fi, it's
Still
80s
cool.
special effects, computer effects. But it's a really cool plot.
Video games and fuck.
I
yeah.
hear they're talking about doing a new one, and it's
Yeah.
the original guy who wrote it who's involved. And it's funny because there's this director who wanted, oh man, I'm so terrible with names, so you just got to Google it yourself. But there's a guy who was like, I want to make this movie, I want to make Last Starfighter, and they told him, oh, there's no way you'll ever get to make it because the rights are too complicated. You can never do it. It's just impossible. And he was like, what do you mean? Why is the rights complicated? And it turns out the guy who wrote it kept the rights, that his deal, he was able to keep some of the rights of it. So this guy just went to him and went, hey, you want to make another Last Starfighter? And the guy was like, yes, let's work on it. So they're like, and then boom, now it's happening. They're writing a story and they're working on it together and trying to line up funding for it, which I think
I love it when a plan comes together.
I think it'd be a great movie to remake, actually, because I think remake or even continue. It totally has room to continue. Like this movie did. But I'm not sure they continued it in the right way. But, I mean, do you guys like any of the other Halloweens that came up over the years? Like, do you like the ones?
I've only seen, like, the first, three? Well,
We posted a few weeks back, we posted a Halloween timeline, for the stories for everybody, and everyone seemed to really like that.
Trying to think.
We did what?
Yeah, you were traveling, wrestling, and beating people up for money. We posted a picture of the Halloween timelines.
Oh.
Like, so make it so people can understand how this one fits in with everything else.
Okay.
Let's see if I can find it for you. So there it is.
Yeah, I want to see. I'm coming over.
So basically, you have this movie, Halloween, 1978, and the John Carpenter approved timeline leads to the new Halloween movie being made right now. So Halloween leads to Halloween. But Halloween, the first movie, also leads to Halloween 2, which leads into the Laurie Strode era continuation, which is H2O, and then Halloween Resurrection.
H2O.
But it also leads Halloween 2.
Which is the one with Busta Rhymes in there.
That one, I believe.
Yeah?
Yeah. Halloween 2.
So we're supposed to forget that.
Leads into the Jamie Lloyd era Thorn trilogy, which is Halloween 4, Halloween 5, and Halloween The Curse of Michael Myers. Then you have the alternate universe, which is Halloween 3, Season of the Witch. So then you have the alternate universe, Halloween 3, Season of the Witch. But then you have the Rob Zombie reimagination of Halloween 2. So, this is a crazy tree.
Yeah.
But kind of awesome. And we got this from my friend Amber Nicole, who posted it originally up. I don't know where she got it, but I'm glad she got it. And it makes a lot of sense. And if you guys are confused by what I just said, which I wouldn't be surprised, you can head over to our site and I will repost it up near the front so you guys can all find it.
Yeah, I can't even remember what was the last Halloween I saw.
Oh, the last Halloween you saw? Yeah, I don't know.
What are you telling me you don't know
I
what
don't know
I've
what
seen?
You saw. I just watched Halloween, the original Halloween, over and over again. Much like Friday the 13th, the original first movie. I like those first ones the best.
Yeah, it was maybe.
Oh yeah.
Which one did Daniel Harris come in? Was that 4? 4 or 5? 4?
Halloween 4. Right? Halloween 4 and then Halloween 5.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
I think 5 was the last one I saw. What was 6?
Yeah, I kind of stopped after Daniel Harris, and then
whichever one where she became Michael Myers, like she put the mask on.
Right.
Oh, right. There was the little thing about it being a demon that possesses everyone. See, again, you need to just over-explain this shit. Like, sometimes people are crazy.
Yep.
Like, you know what would have been more interesting? What if the traumatizing situation, they could have traumatized some child so much that she started killing people. You know what I mean? Like, could have just, like, shown how, instead of, like, it being a demon, could have just been somebody who was so affected, that's what they did.
Sure.
I didn't realize Danielle Harris was 41. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Wow, she don't look it.
No, she doesn't look it. She looks like a kid.
Damn, girl.
Looks like a kid. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, I think this movie is so well done. Donald Pleasance did such an amazing job.
For the, 3
Dr.
days
Loomis?
he was on
yeah,
set.
but he still killed it.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
You know?
I mean, you definitely see how great it was. I think it's funny that of all the high school students that they were all supposed to be, Jamie Lee Curtis was the only one that was a teenager. And she was 17. And she was convinced the first day that she did so bad she was going to get fired. So when John Carpenter called her up, she was like, this is it, I'm screwed, it's over, they're going to fire me, I did a bad job. And he was calling to congratulate her on how great she did for her first day and how excited he was to keep filming, and she just couldn't believe it. I mean, and this movie launched her career, clearly.
Yeah, and she's grateful for it, which is cool, unlike a lot of actors that are like, oh my god, this movie or blah blah blah.
Yeah,
you're like, quit being a dick. Like, just fucking be grateful.
Yeah, you got a movie that people care about.
Yeah,
it's kind of amazing.
Motherfuckers.
What do you guys think about her in the trailer, the new one? Like, it seems like she's taken on kind of a Dr. Loomis type character.
Well, I think that's what they said.
Oh, is that what? Yeah, that's what it said. I like what I'm seeing. I mean, Danny McBride and his bro did a good job. It looks like.
Which I knew he would. Fucking Danny McBride, duh. He's a genius.
You're a
but
genius.
I still would not have expected him to come out with this. Like, it's one thing for him to come up with the next hilarious comedic.
I expect it.
You were shocked when I told you it was.
Yes, I was. I was. But
we both were like,
yeah,
fuck.
you were stoked.
Hell yeah.
But seeing the trailer, how'd you guys feel about it, seeing that trailer?
I was like, you're damn right.
Yeah.
I love it.
I like when they show the mask.
Strong, powerful old woman, yes.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. It's cool to see her. And I like how they were addressing stuff, like how the kids were like, are they brother and sister? No, that's a rumor. Oh my god, everyone says that, and it's not true. Like,
yeah.
Like, I kind of like how they said that, I thought that his defense of Danny McBride, again.
So what is the whole history of her being...
Well, it's supposed to be, ends up being his sister.
When is that?
Second one.
In this, okay.
That
in the second one, that's what it said?
Mm-hmm.
In the first one,
in the first one, it doesn't really. There's not really a connection or whatever. Yeah.
And then in Rob Zombies, they make it like super
straight up
clear
they're their sister, brother and sister. But in this this version, there's no connection. And Danny McBride said it really cool. He had this like description of where he was trying to say like, look, we're not saying those movies are terrible or they have no place and there's
but they are.
He goes, well, no, but he was like saying, like, why can't we just reimagine it and tell a story from our perspective? Why do why do we have to inherit
You
the
mean
whole
from the
timeline?
Original perspective?
Well, he thought that it was just a unique story to tell it from this version. He goes, and some of those scenes, like the girls walking and addressing some of those movies, those are our nod, like, to those movies. Like,
sure.
we're not trying to throw shade. We're trying to go, hey, you know, like that in this version, that's not what happened, but this. He goes, I don't think that this defeats those movies and makes them pointless.
I'm surprised he was so nice about it, because I just imagine Danny McBride just being like, "Fuck you guys."
I think that, you know, he could probably have some sort of civility to carry on a regular conversation. He sounds really excited about this movie, so I think he just wants
fucking
people
love
to do
him.
it.
I love you, Danny McBride.
They just got too worked up trying to reinvent the wheel, which a lot of people try and do.
What, with this movie?
No. The other ones.
Oh, just trying to keep coming up with
Like,
some new twist.
well, yeah, when people, like, re-envision, you know, movies where we're gonna do this with, like, look, I know people have, like, this issue with, like, well, we just don't want to tell the same story over again, or, like, why cover the song the way it was done? Let's make it our own. It's like, well, how about just make a new fucking song or movie then? Like,
Right.
Jesus fucking Christ. Like, don't
change what we love into something
like,
weird.
you can add on to the wheel, so to speak. Like, you can make, oh, okay, we'll play it faster, or we'll make this movie, we'll change this, as like the remake of Night of the Living Dead, Tom Savini did. Like,
Perfect.
basically the same fucking movie, except he switched the role of Barbara.
Right.
He made her a fucking, you know,
Made her not a whiny bitch.
yeah, made her a hero.
Right.
Which was like, awesome, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Cool. But everything else was pretty much the fucking same. Whereas everything else, like the Rob Zombie films, and well, that's the problem with, like, franchises.
Mm-hmm.
Once they start getting past, like, 2 or 3, definitely 3, it's like, all right, we gotta just come up with all this new shit.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, 1 movie, cool. Sequel, cool. 3, if it's like, because Nightmare on Elm Street did pretty good with going up. Even like 4 and 5 were
Right.
still pretty, like, you're like,
I don't know. I still like it.
okay, you know, but like this, the more and more they got, except the
Friday the 13th.
Friday
like,
13th too.
The up to like 8. I was down for.
But
Really?
Yeah.
what was the one with what do you call it, Gage from Pet Sematary?
Huh?
The Nightmare on Elm Street one where fucking Nancy was the.
I'm gonna be honest with you right now. Like, I have not watched all of the Nightmare on Elm Streets. I watched the original.
Well, neither have I. What was it?
And
Was
I
it
watched the second and I watched the third.
was
and
it
that's about it.
Wes
But
Craven's
maybe-
New Nightmare or
Oh,
whatever?
I didn't say. I've never seen that.
Where
one.
they played, where it was like they were acting.
Yeah.
That one was cool.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I mean, once you start getting too much, like, you start really trying to fucking reinvent what you've already done. So I get it, but
I don't know. This movie, I think is just a really well done horror movie. You
Yes.
know, I mean, it just really is for that time. And the first, I mean, if you think
And
back to
shot
the
in
first-
20 days, and only
Yeah.
$300,000.
Yeah,
It
and
was-
it's like kind of like a radio play.
That's crazy.
He wrote this. I didn't realize he had written all the music in 3 days.
Yeah.
You know, I mean,
The most iconic.
yes, 5/4 time.
Yeah.
Just played. That's awesome.
That his dad taught him on the fucking bongo drums, and he was like, "Yo, I'm gonna just put that on the piano."
It's funny how chilling it sounds
Yeah.
and how
Well-
much it does affect it.
well, like they said, like he was saying, you know, with the mask and everything, how the other mask they were gonna use was like kind of was fucking creepy, and you know, the other clown mask. But when they
Yeah, it
used
was
the-
originally gonna be this crazy, creepy clown
Yeah.
mask.
but the William Shatner mask was just kind of blank, which was even more like
Yeah, because they
creepy, it's-
really wanted it to be. They really wanted to jam that note in there that this is a blank
blank,
slate.
yeah.
He's
Right.
just evil. There's nothing to it.
which makes everything, you know, the whole less is more, like I said
Exactly.
before. It's like,
Yeah.
oh shit, okay, you know, that's one of the best things about it. You know, total lack of like blood for a slasher movie.
Yeah, no, but I mean, there's so much suspense with everything, and the way Nick Castle portrays the shape is just excellent.
I mean, I would even go as far as to say like it's more of a
The simplicity
Yeah.
on how he
Approach
plays the
everything.
shape.
yeah.
My little brother, is a huge fan of this movie, and he collects. He owns one of every type of the Michael Myers masks that have come out. He owns them all, including one that's an incredible. I almost wish he was here to talk about it, or he sent me notes to talk about it. But he has literally all these masks.
Yeah.
And he has one, like, if they released a recognized, licensed Halloween mask, he owns it. So, and they're all in different levels of quality, but he owns them all. And every year, for Halloween, he is Michael Myers in his neighborhood, and all the kids know of it and come to him specifically. Plus, he also gives out full-size candy bars, so he doesn't mess around with fun size.
Yes, motherfucker, my man.
Yeah, so he walks around as, and he's kind of built like Nick Castle. He's got he's thin, long, tall, but not too tall, and he just nails it. I mean, to see my brother in the costume is crazy, and so everybody goes crazy over it. And to this point, he's been doing it so long in his neighborhood, there's now another guy who now does Jason. And there's another guy who does Freddy Krueger.
Oh my god, you get to hit up all the houses.
Yeah, he inspired all these other guys
How
who now
adorable.
every year dress all these kids that live in the neighborhood think it's so cool that my brother is Michael Myers. And he is terrifying because he will not break character.
Your brother's sick. I like your brother.
You'd like
I've learned a lot about him throughout recording these podcasts, and I'm about it.
You would like him. He nails it. And so a lot of people, when they announced this movie, was like, Johnny, you should let them know that you exist and try and be Michael Myers in this movie. So he started looking into it, and he reached out, and then he found out that they had gotten Nick Castle back. And he was like, well, there's nothing I could do now. Like,
Right.
They got him.
I wouldn't even want to fuck with that, though.
No, he was like, that's fine. It'll be perfect. You know, because he was just like, he's like, I just want to audition. Maybe I should at least try, you know? And so he was going to, but then they announced they had Nick. Or he found out, maybe he contacted the filmmakers or something. Like, he was looking into it.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
Well, what is your take on the age? Because Michael Myers is, like, in his 60s?
Well, he was just I had gotten the impression that he was probably, a teenager during those murders? Maybe, like, 18 or 19? He didn't look that old when they unmasked him. I don't know how old he was supposed to be, but...
Yeah,
so
I would have said between... I would have said between 18 and, like, 23.
So let's round him up to 20.
Okay.
And say 78, he was 20. So...
Yeah, people are saying that he was maybe 21.
Yeah.
Okay. So...
And then 40 years later.
Yeah, so he's 60s. But
he's pure evil, so fuck it.
Evil never dies.
Right.
I mean, I like that scene where he's just standing there, and his back to them, chained in the open courtyard, and they bring out the mask, and everybody around goes crazy and starts freaking out, like getting all building, like just like there's obviously like a tension in the air when they show him that.
I mean, he's been in prison, so he's probably been keeping in shape, you know. So
he's been in a mental hospital.
Okay, well,
still, man. Terminator 2. Linda Hamilton in the mental hospital was all fucking straight yoked.
Yeah.
Doing some Yardbird fucking pull-ups and push-ups.
Like my dad is in his 60s. I could see him like going around and murdering people. Kicking ass.
There are people in their 60s, and then there are people in their 60s. You know, like some are gonna be old, and some are very, very capable of whooping your ass.
I would imagine Michael Myers. Yeah. Yes.
Well, I always thought that Michael Myers' biggest strength is his complete willingness to do whatever. Like, he'll do whatever. It doesn't matter to him, you know? I mean,
I hate that everyone's so mad that he's so old. This doesn't make sense.
It totally makes sense.
Why wouldn't it make sense?
I don't think
if you don't think it makes sense, you're fucking stupid.
I don't think it's too
It's a grandma and grandpa hoedown.
Like, what the fuck?
But I mean,
that's like saying, well, Jason's be like fucking 70 now.
It's the concept of pure evil. He puts on the mask. It doesn't matter how old he is. The mask.
Doesn't. He's a fucking monster.
Yeah.
It's just a physical form that he...
Yeah.
I don't think age would necessarily affect somebody like him.
I think he could be 90 and still fuck shit up.
Right. He is just pure evil.
Age is just a number with
the scene where he just drops the tea.
Oh my god, I love that.
There's a lot of really cool...
That. Yeah.
And I like how everyone's like, you know, there's everyone trying to warn everyone else, like, you don't understand. He's not going to stop. Like, there's no stopping him. I don't know. I know some 60-year-olds are whoop ass too, so
Yeah.
I don't have any problem.
I don't
with
even
his
think
age
that
range.
should even register with people. Like, why would you even be concerned about that?
Right.
Like, that's
I
so
don't know, that's a
dumb.
good question.
People
but
are also like really concerned. Like, why would Jamie Lee Curtis's character still be around?
Why wouldn't she?
Why wouldn't she just skip town and run away and be like, fuck all this bullshit?
She wants to kill him. I
Yeah.
mean, she's mad.
No,
Like,
I
she's
think
obviously-
this is totally her character. Her character has always been a badass.
I kind of love that Judy Cruise in this new movie because I've become such a big fan of hers thanks to Archer playing Carol.
Yeah.
Like, she plays Jamie Lee Curtis's daughter. So, and then there's
Good for her.
Andy Matchok plays her daughter. So there's 3 generations in this.
Another thing I liked about the original one is that, I mean, it's almost like a psychological thriller.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like, really suspense, because it's not like... I mean, obviously people are getting killed, but you could totally replace that with just like a regular guy killing people.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like that kind of thing where it's just this dude lurking around this neighborhood, and you never know when he's going to get you, but he's going to get you. So I thought that was pretty cool.
Yeah, I see that.
The simplicity. I love the point of view shots that they did
Oh, yeah.
in the movie. I thought
Yeah,
that was
no,
pretty...
it was great. I liked, especially in the beginning,
Mhm.
that whole intro
Yeah,
is
yeah, I
fantastic.
love that. That's how it starts.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And but
Do you
they're-
think him wearing the clown costume was an ode to them teasing that
the
creepy
clown
clown
that they were gonna need to that
face
they're gonna
that
base
they were gonna use?
I would probably,
No, I bet there was some sort of connection into that.
because I'm sure that they had the idea of it being like a creepy clown
Mhm.
in the first place, kind of thing.
Well, it wasn't. I mean, they were just gonna use a
Yeah.
mask just because he stole the mask
Yeah,
from
yeah.
a Halloween shop.
Right.
Did you know that Daniel Harris tried to get in this movie to put Jamie in the film somehow, but the producers were like, no.
Yeah, no, you don't need to. You don't need a minute.
Well, I think coming from the way that what they're trying to do, obviously there wouldn't be any. It's not necessary. It's a whole nother.
I did have one problem with this movie.
The original.
Yeah.
What was your problem?
Where the fuck was everybody in this town?
Sleeping, I figure. I mean, there wasn't that.
Sleeping.
This town's like, that town was like 3 of the smallest square blocks I've ever seen in like a town, and you have these
Sure.
fucking this crazy bitch running around screaming her head off, and these little kids, and like no one is around. Like in the suburbs, if that shit happens, people are like, what
Yeah,
the
like
fuck?
a Christmas Story. He goes out and looks at his
his lamp.
his lamp
Everyone's
outside,
like, "What?"
and the whole town comes out to look at it too.
And like it got dead. It's not like it was like it was dead
Well, it
like
was
super
Halloween
late at night.
Yeah. It was.
But like the kids were out for a little bit, and then you know what Halloween usually like trick or treating usually ends at
Well,
like
and
8 or
usually-
9.
I didn't
Yes.
get the impression that it was all that loud. Like people were screaming, but was they screaming?
Dude, if
Wasn't
it's
it
like
Especially in the 70s.
if it's like
I don't know. I hear screams in my neighborhood all the time.
yeah, but
Well,
we live in
we live-
California,
we live in
and
the Bay
California's
Area.
fucking crazy.
You live in fucking Berkeley.
like
in
people
the college part of town.
yeah, where people are
Dude,
getting
if I
like
heard-
raped
if
left
I-
and right.
That
in
is
fucking
not
Berkeley.
what is happening where I live.
It is 100% what's happening over that.
You
Dude,
may not know.
Look at the statistics, man.
Yeah,
But
well,
if I heard some screaming here in our quiet little
Yeah, now yeah.
in Alameda, which is not even as quiet as some places are,
Yeah.
like I'd be like, "What the fuck is going on?"
And especially back then in that time,
Which I
like,
have actually.
like back where I'm from, in like a suburb, like especially like you were saying back in the 70s, if someone's running around
Neighbors were
fucking
super
like
nosy back then.
screaming, like it's loud, especially when there's nothing else going on.
and
You'd hear
everyone
that
knew
shit.
their neighbors.
Yeah, so you'd
Like,
like
you
flick
knew
on a
your
light or like look out like what the
Exactly.
fuck. She's like
Yeah.
running around banging on doors and no
Yeah.
one's like. I'm like that. I mean, it's whatever, but I'm just like, what the fuck?
right.
Like
I saw that Sally got home late last night.
yeah, you're like oh you
yeah, it's
know.
not usually how they.
So that was my one issue. I'm like, there'd be so many fucking lights on. Like, what the fuck's going on? Even if they
Sure.
wouldn't open the door, like, oh, you're fucking crazy. Like, I don't know. But they would obviously all know her, or like someone would be calling the cops, or like, There'd be some shit
Or
going
maybe
down.
Michael Myers killed them all.
I guess.
He like wiped out the neighborhood first.
Yeah, I don't know. So that's one thing that really bugs me. Like, come the fuck on.
Right.
You know? But aside from that.
I didn't catch this in the new trailer. Did you guys see this? The Halloween 3 Season of the Witch Silver Shamrock costume trick-or-treaters are in the background. I completely missed that. That's awesome. That's amazing.
I actually found out about that before I saw the trailer.
Oh, I didn't know about that.
Yeah.
I just didn't even... I was totally paying attention to... My attention was all on Jamie Lee Curtis in that scene, so I didn't even notice that.
The joy of social media where everything gets spoiled before, you know. So I saw a bunch of Easter egg things circled.
They're saying that that this one lives up. She says this one lives up, and she didn't do this for money. She did this because she loved it.
Yeah,
all right,
sure
I believe that.
You know, that she said H2O 20 years later started off with the best intentions with themes of alcoholism and trauma, but ultimately ended up being a money gag. It just didn't pull off. How did you guys like the H2O?
I like I said, I stopped at 4 or 5. The second one Danielle Harris was in, and after that I was like, eh.
Yeah. No, I mean, I think this is I'm really excited about the movie coming up, and I'm really excited. I love this movie. It's hard to talk about because so many of you obviously know about it. Like, you know, it's like there isn't anybody who doesn't. If you are actually listening to this and you haven't seen it, get off your ass and go watch this original movie. It's fantastic. The one thing I remember is I remember the creators wanted to mention, the one thing we haven't talked about, the creators mentioned that it was never their intention to make virginity a survival weapon against a murderer. That was not just because they just meant to make Laurie a square, you know, so that there's a reason to explain why she'd be babysitting on a Halloween night. They weren't trying to like make the point of like, if you're a virgin, monsters won't kill you. It's like that was not intentional. She was just not as cool as the rest of her friends. That was the point.
Yeah, I mean, I never even got that.
Yeah, but a lot of other people did because they did it over and over again. Like they milked let's face it, they milked this movie for all it's worth.
Yeah.
So, honestly, guys, I know we were gonna do the candy corns, but it's 5 candy corns on this one. 5
I'm not even
cute
gonna
zombie
say
candy corns. It's clearly awesome. It's a classic. You know,
I would give it like a 2.5, 3.
Yeah, you sure.
No, I'd probably give it 4.
Give it 4?
Yeah, I mean it is.
I don't think they could have made a better movie at this time.
No, I mean it was a little boring in some parts, just because that's how the movie was.
Yeah.
Like slightly slow, but
I know what you're saying.
You know what I
but
mean?
to me, I liked that sort of building tension. But yeah, I get what you're saying. But I stand by my 5, and Shotzi doesn't want to rate it, so
because she's a pussy.
No, because it's a 5. And I didn't want to say it, but like now you're making me say it.
Peer pressure.
Whatever.
So, guys, if you haven't seen this movie, go see it. I mean, it's an utter classic, but chances are, if you're listening to this, because you guys all tell us that you won't listen to episodes unless you've seen the movie, you've already seen the movie. So.
Oh yeah. Let's wait. Before we leave, what the fuck is wrong with you, dickholes? And Silver Bullet, go watch that fucking movie. Like, obviously, a lot of you people have never seen it. The fuck is wrong with you?
Silver Bullet ended up being our least listened to episode of all time. All of our episodes are getting bigger and bigger as more people find out about the show, which is amazing. Thank you all so much. We really love hearing from everybody, and a lot of you have come up to us and talked to us about the show, and that means everything. I'm stoked that you guys are entertained, but you clearly did not ever see Silver Bullet, because that episode is literal kryptonite on our ratings. Like, it
Which
just
is
went
fucking insane.
Down, like right down the hole.
First of all, it's an 80s movie, which is awesome just by default. 2, has Gary Busey in it and werewolves. And little Corey Haim being a cripple in a fucking souped up wheelchair.
Yeah, if you haven't seen it...
What the fuck? Like, how does that... If someone told you that, would you be like, that movie sounds fucking amazing. I need to watch it.
You're selling it to me all over again, and I've already seen it.
But it's interesting that you guys haven't seen that movie. So, seriously, go watch Silver Bullet. And then go listen to the episode. It's totally worth talking about. It's a good movie.
Is this a dumb question, but is Lock, Shock, and Barrel based off of the trick-or-treaters from Halloween 3?
Huh.
I never thought of it.
So it's not a dumb question.
No.
But like,
I don't.
Doesn't it kind of like?
I mean, they look like it, but I think it's just
Tim Burton's that cool though.
Tim Burton is that
could
cool.
be, yeah.
Yeah, I bet it is.
To me, they always.
Ooh, I'm glad I'm making a point. Woo! I noticed something.
To me, they always just reminded me of like old school vintage hot trick or treaters.
Right, but like totally right. The
totally.
witch. I mean, like
I think she's right.
I think I'm right too.
Cause
right?
Yeah. Actually, this is.
Okay, I feel cool now. It's not a dumb question.
So we got a witch, a skeleton. No, it's a devil. It's a witch,
but maybe he changed it up a little bit.
But yeah, I mean, it's three. Yeah, we have a skeleton, a pumpkin, and a.
I mean, those are pretty generic.
Okay, so he switched out the pumpkin for a devil. But like,
but there's still three trick-or-treaters.
I still think that it is. I mean, I guess it's just pretty generic.
That was kind of a neat observation. I wouldn't be surprised because maybe he changed it because it would be too obvious.
Right.
I mean, you had Jack being the Pumpkin King, so why would you have a pumpkin trick or treater?
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah. I mean, it's
exactly.
It's It's completely possible.
I'm sure it was an influence.
Yeah.
I mean,
you can't have another pumpkin.
Which gets a lot of flack, but it shouldn't.
Like, I want to watch season. We should do season of the Witch.
We should do Halloween 3 Season of the Witch. Yeah. That's its own kind of movie.
It is its own thing.
Which is what they.
Well, that's what they were trying to do because it is
every
because it was supposed to be an anthology.
I think that would have been an amazing idea, though. I think it would have been great to do a different Halloween and keep it going. Halloween 4, Halloween 5, all different stories around Halloween.
I love that.
Yeah.
But
I love that.
This one tanks so bad. We're going to talk about Halloween 3 Season of the Witch, bitches. We'll come back to this.
Yeah, so watch it because I know you motherfuckers haven't seen it. So watch it, get prepared, and we'll do an episode probably in months from now.
Yeah.
So sometime in October probably.
That would be a good one to do in October.
Yeah, I agree.
Well, thank you guys so much for listening to the show. Hope you enjoyed the episode. If you have anything to say to us, hit us up. Let us know through our Facebook, through our Twitter, come up to us and say something. Write us a letter and send it by Pony Express. Throw up smoke signals so we can read them in the sky and kind of let us know what you think. If you have any observations on Halloween that you think we did not make or we should have, it's probably because we've heard it made millions of times elsewhere. So this is a great movie. I love it. And you should too. So that's it.
Suck my nuts and order a burger.
And I did. You've been listening to Monster Candy Podcast. Want to find out more about the show? Find us on the web at monstercandypodcast.com. You can also find us on Facebook and Instagram by searching Monster Candy Podcast. And you can find our Twitter at MonsterCNDYPC. Hey, we couldn't fit the whole name. What do you want from us? Let us know what you think of the show and if we're right or if we're wrong or what you want us to tackle next. We want to hear from you. Well, Shotzi and I do, but I can promise that E doesn't really care. To find out more about Shotzi Blackheart and her professional wrestling, follow her Twitter at Shotzi Black or her Instagram at Shotzi Blackheart. You can follow Screamin' E's band, the Memphis Murder Men, on Facebook at TMMM official page or his Instagram at Screamin' E. That's screaming with no G, add the E. For me, Dominic Davy, you can find my artwork at dominicdavy.com, my band Tsunami Bomb at tsunamibomb.net, and you can hear my other podcast, 3 Gigs, at 3gigspodcast.com, or on the same platform you're hearing this podcast. Thank you so much for tuning in. We'll see you next time on Monster Candy Podcast.
I met him 15 years ago. I was told there was nothing left. No reason, no conscience, no understanding, and even the most rudimentary sense of life or death. of good or evil, right or wrong. I met this 6-year-old child with this blank, pale, emotionless face and the blackest eyes, the devil's eyes. I spent 8 years trying to reach him, and then another 7 trying to keep him locked up, because I realized that what was living behind that boy's eyes was purely and simply evil.